Howdy-ho, Arkansas Pilgrim here again. Sorry about the wind-blown look or whatever. I've been working out in my shop. It's hot today and I had some stuff I just had to do. But hey, here's a garden video, and it's going to be my first garden video that would be, possibly associated with garden gurus. Well, here's my garden, at least the garden that's out in my backyard. I have other parts of the garden that are in some planter beds out front. And hey, it looks so lush and growing. Man, I've been so excited about it. But I've been having some trouble. And maybe there's, some of you gardeners out there that, actually know what you're doing, can tell me, give me some pointers, some help. I mean, I've, previously given, gardening, quote, tips, and then found out later that they weren't really that great an idea. I guess I should offer something first on something that I do know is a good idea, and that is, hey, if and I guess I actually already did this in a previous video, but since this one's aimed at garden gurus, I'll redo it. That Bacillus thuringiensis, or BT, works fantastic for keeping tomato hornworms off your tomatoes. I used it, and I was starting to get tomato worms, and I have not seen any since. So, highly recommend it. And actually, I'll put a link in the description about it from where I got it in Amazon. It's not an affiliate link. It's just what I got. It's pretty cheap, and it's concentrated. It'll go a long way. And a second tip would be, if you do get tomato hornworms, you find them chewing on your tomato plants, or your pepper plants for that matter. They go after those too. Once you pull them off, make sure you clip off the sections that they have chewed on, so that next time you look at your plants, everything will be fresh. If there's any new chewing, you'll know it's there, rather than going like, man, was that chewed on before or not? Man, I wonder if I should look for a hornworm. So hey, that's a tip, and that's a good tip, and I recommend it. Okay. But what else I got going on with these tomatoes is, I've watered these tomatoes more than I ever watered tomatoes before. I had planter beds before, and I read that, hey, with blossom end rot, you need calcium, and that actually if you water them enough, they should get enough calcium from the soil. Now that's what I've read, and I've read other things that were, questionable. And actually, I'll get to that in a minute. But I put ground eggshell in the hole first before I transplanted the plants, and I knew that possibly might not help because the eggshell takes a while to break down and have the calcium be available. But I did that, and I've been watering a lot, not twice a week. For a while there, it was every other day, and now I've been watering every day. And I have not got a single ripe tomato yet that hasn't had blossom end rot. And to be honest with you, there haven't been that many ripe ones either, ones that were just ripening. And I go through and I find little ones with blossom end rot all the time, and I pull them off. But then I think, oh, they're going to be okay. Then I guess some of them ripen and they've got blossom end rot. I'm not sure what the problem is. Another thing, these back here, you see these 9-foot tall single string trellises I've got for my plants. These are for the determinate ones. I'm doing the single vine method. They grew up to about where they are now and then stopped. Now these over here, the taller ones have they've started kind of growing again. And maybe I just wasn't getting them enough water. I'd mulched around them. Now, of course, then again, maybe the mulch wasn't deep enough as these wood chips, and this is my first shot at doing the first year doing back-to-Eden gardening, so I know it's going to take a while for the a couple years to actually get the soil in super condition, but I fertilized them. I added some fertilizer around it. I fertilized them a couple of times. So I'm just not sure what the deal is there. Hey, wow, I see a red tomato down here. It's turning red. Oh, okay, I lied. Not every ripe tomato has blossom end rot, because that one doesn't. He's hiding in behind there. Anyway, my first tomato that's going to be ripe. And just as an aside, I'm probably going to lose a lot of these because I'm going to be going on vacation, be gone for like 2 weeks, probably when all these start ripening. And I am going to have my daughter water and harvest for me, but will be gone, and I'm just going to have her stick them in the freezer, so I guess they'll be okay. Okay, second thing that I need help with. See these wonderfully growing, bushy squash plants. Now this one right here is a spaghetti squash. These two right here are zucchini. This slightly lighter green two are yellow scallop, and actually, see, yellow scallop, getting some. And this one over here, this is a cocazelle that I finally got to get growing from seeds. Planted multiple of them. My problem with these is they're spitting out all kinds of male flowers, but the zucchini have only put out a few female flowers, and I've been manually pollinating them because, well, I know that because I've had problems in the past with squash or cucumbers and that kind of things pollinating, and so I've been looking every morning and every evening, seeing if there's any female flowers that have opened up and that have got like a tiny little squash on them, but there haven't been that many, at least on the zucchini. There's only been one on my spaghetti squash. And here it is, and this is several weeks old, and it's still it's still not that big. I'm not sure why it's taking so long to grow. Now, we are having hot summers, but like I said, I've been watering, and they've started to wilt a couple times, and I've watered heavily. You see, they're not wilted. And but on these yellow scallop squash, if you can see here, there's a whole bunch of little, like there's one right here, there's one right here, there's one right there. There's a bunch of female buds on this. See, down in here. And there have been gobs of them. I'm looking in there, and I look in, and I'll, actually get to pollinate one, and I see, wow, there's a whole bunch more here, like 5 or 6. I'm going to be getting gobs of these. And then I keep coming back, but then the flowers don't bloom. I mean, they don't even get open. They're still just these tight green little pointy things on the end of a little tiny squash. And then when I come, then they're not there anymore. I was just looking at one, and it just fell off, and it was dying and shriveling up, and it had never even come close to opening up. So if anybody out there can give me some clues as to what I'm supposed to do to get these darn squash plants to produce, I'm kind of at a loss, and to be honest with you, getting a little frustrated and a little annoyed. Of course, it doesn't take a whole lot to frustrate me and annoy me. So, but this, I've been hanging in there, and it just, I there must be something else I got to do. Maybe I got to fertilize them. I guess I did fertilize them with some banana peel type extract that I'd made, but maybe that's not good enough. Anyway, any help would be appreciated, and thank you all, especially any of you Garden Gurus people that might reply to this. So anyway, enough rambling. God bless you all. See you next time.